It's my honor to be joined today by Mark Egan, Grammy Award-winning electric bassist, composer, and musician. Mark, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you, Brian. It's great to be here at East Maine. Thanks so much.
You know, I'm thrilled to talk to you today about your new recording called Electric Blue. It's a new duo project with Danny Gottlieb. Let's start right there. Tell me about the new album.
Actually, it's released in vinyl as a real album, as well as CD, and of course digital to all the digital outlets, iTunes and Apple Music, etc. It's drums and bass, and it's a very special project because Danny and I have played together for nearly 50 years, and we played together many times duo, just in a duo context, just drums and bass. And we wanted to capture that and put it out as one complete project, even though in past releases, we have released a few tunes on records as duo pieces, and we've done duo concerts, but this is the first time the whole record is a duo record.
You know, in listening to the new album, I want to ask you about how you approached filling the space as a duo. Specifically with your instrument, the bass, you know, you're playing harmonics and melody lines, lead lines, but you're also holding down the low end. Tell me how you and Danny approached filling the space of the recording as a duo.
As I mentioned, Danny and I have played together for many years, and we always got together and played as a duo, and it always seemed to be very musical and very much a total music within itself. And so on the one hand, you have Danny with this beautiful, not only his technique, but the way that he plays cymbals and drums is he orchestrates whatever he plays. He's a very complimentary type player, as well as very aggressive and can really lay it down the groove. And on my end with the bass, you know, I approach it sort of orchestrally when I play, because it's not just people know bass is a single note at a time, but now with the advent of technology and effects and sounds and everything, there's just a whole world of music within the instrument itself. So you have harmonics. So, you know, both of us come from this very expanded background of being baby boomers and listening to all the music from the 60s and 70s and going back and even listening to the jazz music of the 50s and 40s and et cetera. So we pull all those things together. So whenever we play together as a duo, we're not just thinking what the typical bass and drums would do, which is just play a groove, you know, 2 and 4 and hi-hat and that, but I'm playing more like an expanded version of bass into guitar areas of sound and even into piano, because I studied keyboard harmony and we both have studied jazz extensively. So all those influences and sensibilities come into our performance when we play, but there's really no boundaries, and we just, a lot of the things on this new Electric Blue record were improvisations, and some were songs that were pre-written. And when we got together, I can talk more about how we produced into the record, but that's sort of a synopsis of the overall view of how Danny and I, when we get together to play, we play for the moment, and we're listening. We have huge ears. We're listening to everything and complimenting and trying to come up with a balance.
Well, you already got to my next question, which is, tell me what role that improvisation had in the creation and the recording of the 8 tracks on the new album.
Yeah, so I guess I should start at the beginning. When we wanted to do this duo record, we wanted to come up with a format, thinking of a balance of, okay, what songs do we want to have? What type of feelings do we want to have on it? So we did some basic sketching in that way, and then we did some. Danny will say, well, let's play this groove. And I'll say, great, I'll play this bass line and we'll do this in that key, because that's different from the other keys we're doing. And then we started to just play and improvising, and we started, as they say, rolling tape, which they don't roll tape anymore. It's all press record on Pro Tools Digital. So I would say that half of the record was made like that. And then another half of the half was songs that had been written before. One of the songs is called Cabaret. So that's, you know, it's sort of it is a balance between improvisation and orchestrated improvisational pieces, as well as pieces that were written.
Wow. So tell me about the recording process itself.
The engineer was Richard Brownstein, who did some of the tracks, as well as Phil Magnotti. And we went in for 4 days, and We basically recorded all day long. So we just went along, and it was such a creative experience being in the studio like that and just being able to play, you know, all day for 4 days. So there's still much more in the can, as they say, from the sessions. And we will be putting out a second version of that along with some new recording that we're going to be doing.
So Mark, tell me where people can find your new album and download it or buy a copy.
In the digital world, it's available at iTunes, Apple Music, any digital outlet, it should be there. It's also available as a CD, a hard CD, at Amazon. And as I had mentioned before, it's released as an LP, and that's also will be at Amazon. You can buy it there.
Amazing. Again, the new release is Electric Blue, Mark Egan and Danny Gottlieb, a duo project. It's fabulous. Mark, thanks for taking time to talk with me.
Thank you, Brian, so much. Thank you to all the listeners for listening to our music as well. Thanks.